really love. You may not always find a lot of AT out here, partly because of sight blockers on the right, partly because, again, you have a lot of hedgerows to get around on this side. Unless you take this area in the center, you don't really have good grounds to push with the support weapons. So it's a really, really nice map for that. And resources sit on the outsides as well, so you can't just fixate on the middle. You have to go around. I think it's probably one of the more interesting 1v1 maps that exists in this game. Where it does fail, though, which is something that I do see in the loadout at the moment, is when the Calliope gets involved. I think when the Calliope gets involved in a map that is such short distance, this is where we start to get problems, because the Calliope can sit in base and still hit the opponent's base, which some people might consider unfair. I personally do consider that unfair. And hopefully you guys do too. I fully expect that we're going to see J4Jet jump in with tactical support. It's got the M19s. Even though you only get one, it's still good. You've got the Recon. You've got the Calliope. It's so good. So hopefully we're going to see that. The question is, what does Nagano go for? And we see that Special Operations was not a commander veto.
It was not.
And that is very interesting, because that is probably going to be his go-to. I would predict we're probably going to get heavy infantry from Nagano, probably into the mechanized regiment again, and then we're going to see probably Command Panther. We could even see mechanized regiment back tech to battle grouper. That's popular with the Special Operations.
It has been
meta. Yeah, that's pretty much meta. You go for the mechanized regiment, get the Lukes out, back tech to the battle grouper so you can get healing, and then go into the Command Panther with no tier 4 tech. It's a very, very nice choice. But here we go, going into
yes, here we go. We are in the final of the Factional Showdown episode 2. I am live with Daniel Stormless Hobden, and I am seeing in the southwest of Thamanville approach Ruka ACL Nagano, the big Russian heavyweight, is OKW.
That's right, and he's going to be playing against J4Jet, who is the US forces in the north. And J4Jet, do not underestimate him by any stretch, because the first time that we really saw him, he was playing up against Paula in King of the Hill, and he put on an excellent show. In fact, he was probably down to be one of the best newcomers, in my opinion. We didn't see...
For GCS, he didn't really establish his potential fully, though. And he does now have the chance, Dan. He's actually top ranked for this mini-tournament. This mini-tournament is Factional Showdown. You pick your faction as OKW or USF in this episode, and this guy picked OKW. Nagano picked OKW. OKW seemed bloody well overpowered. But in this best of 3, both guys get opportunity to play as said overpowered faction. J4Jet's now playing on possibly the back foot, and this is his true opportunity to show us what he's made of.
Well, we're going to have our first engagements now. We already had the retreat of the echelons early on, and this is going to force the hand of the map here. We see Nagano, he's dominated the center, and he's pushed onto the right-hand side. Very interestingly, J4Jet prefers to go green cover with, the 5 models than he does to sit with 3 windows in the building, which I'm not 100% sure how much more beneficial that is, but he's using the cover to creep as close as he can to the Volks Grenadiers, trying to get the close range damage on, but Nagano comes in with the Kubel. Excellent support from the Kubel to turn that engagement.
That VW converted Beetle with the MG34 on its hull. Oh, look at this, Dan. Look at him. He's a beast. Drive it, Himmel. Drive. Shoot the Yankees.
Yeah,
Dan, you seem to get quite sexually excited for that Kubelwagen, I have to say.
It's, we all play this game for various reasons.
And yours is for your Kubelwagen fetish. I love it. Absolutely love it. And we saw the Kubelwagen full action there. And this game is set to be a fantastic showdown in the name operative. We've got J4Jet as rank 4 in the world, OKW, versus Ruka ACL Nagano, who's a damn good player, but not highly ranked right now. He's more of a tournament player, Dan. He brings it out for the big matches. So I think we're set for a big match here.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping this turns into a good game here. And we're seeing the good early signs in. I mean, even with losing the resources that we saw at the start, J4Jet is going to confidently push through to the strategic decap, to make sure that no resources are taken through the center. That being said, though, we do have a cap through the center. Fortunately, riflemen have decapped the fuel, so it's not going to be very beneficial to decap that strategic point. He's done a good job, is what I'm trying to say. You know, he's managed to decap both the fuel and the strategic point, just making sure that that resource lead doesn't come in early. But you know what? I realized something. You know, I've been playing Company of Heroes 1 a lot this week, and I realized how much less aggressive resource decapping in this game is.
Yes, it is.
Strategic points get you so much. I think people underrate strategic points too much in this game. You only get like what plus 5 fuel, plus 7 fuel. You may as well just get 2 strategic points.
Completely true. That's why Company of Heroes 1 map making is so much easier to do. The high resources and high munitions actually mean something. In Code 2, a strategic point, 2 of them, is better than a high fuel or high munitions. And that's what a lot of beginner players that have maybe come from Code 1 don't quite understand or get to grips with quite easily. You just want overwhelming map control. You don't necessarily want to make a big insurgence for one of those big resource points.
Yeah, I think it's actually quite a big moment when you see people that leave that strategic point off to one side and they don't really care for it, because that is actually really, really a big hit.
So happy with this mindset. Dan is now like a full Kool-Aid drinking Code 1 enthusiast. I'm loving it.
I'm going to go a step further as well.
Go on.
To tell you something that I already knew, but I realized why. With the assault support from the Austere faction, where you get the Opal Blitz truck, it's actually more efficient to use it on a strategic point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course it is, for the munitions as well as the fuel. And we all said this in Code 2 Alpha rather, back in 2012. And I don't want to get too much into it. Just want to catch great competitive action right now. We have the mortar out for J4J. We have 3 rifles out and the captain against OKW. This game looks like it's got legs for days. The Kubalogans pushing. It's trying to bully. That's right, bully the rear echelons around. But the riflemen have something to say about that.
I've got to say, J4Jet is turning this around in a great way, because after that horrible start, really, or what it looked like a horrible start, he's gone for the strategic decaps, he's denying the resources, and he had a full territory cut off there from Nagano. I mean, even Nagano with just 1 strategic point. Kubel goes down there, it's abandoned though, it is not... Oh, this is... I wonder whether... Yeah, it's a good idea there. Nagano just attacked moving the Kubel to destroy it rather than handing it over to the US. That would be quite a good capping unit for the US, you know, letting an extra squad go through the center rather than capping on the outside. So
interesting choice from Nagano. He realizes he's just lost that Kubel. He realizes he's losing map control, and he goes for the MG34.
That's an interesting choice, because we see Morsa is already on the field, so the appropriate counter is there for J4Jet. But I just want to say, I couldn't have called this more perfectly with the tactical support company here. I mean, Calliope is just such a favourite on this map. It's so good, and it is basically just down to that range through the centre. So an excellent choice here. This is going to be difficult for Nagano, and I think as soon as we see the M19s, I would put money that gets selected.
We are seeing a very interesting battle here on Feynmanville Approach, the bringer of fantastic battles. We see Nagano on your screen right now using the medical packs in base so he can get to that mechanized company ever so quickly. But he's going to be meeting the Stuart light tank and the captain with the bazooka and 3 rifles with veterancy 1 apiece. So we very much have parity restored in this OKW versus USF Showdown. That's right, it's the Factional Showdown Episode 2, funded by, in the centre of your screen, you see it right now, patreon.com/AECOH. A little bit of money goes a long way into providing you a steady stream of Code 2 action.
Dig deep, brother.
Thank you. Dig deep, and I will release you from your satanic supremacy.
Speaking of digging deep, we do see US are... Actually, they're not digging deep into their resources, because they don't have to tech anything to get these M19s. They do come free with the Doctrine at 3 CP, I believe. So we're actually seeing that has been revealed. Now, M19s, I think Nagano should have seen them in that engagement fuel on the right-hand side. So let's see if he's about to make that commander pick soon. Lucas is out on the field. We might even see another tech truck coming in as the fuel climbs up to 40. But right now, huge issues holding territory. The Stuart is now in. Luke's gets cancelled for the Puma. I think that's huge. I think that's absolutely huge because, of course, Luke's was going to be so good against the M19s. Has he seen them?
Do you want me to tell you something about Nagano? He actually vetoed Infantry Company in this tournament. He did not want to play against Infantry Company. So J4Jet has gone for M119s as part of tactical support, which, of course, unleashes one particular thing, Dan. And that is the Sherman with rocket artillery on its back. That's right. Rocket artillery genocide. And then, that's right. Dan's got his support board of mind psychological meta. There's he's pressed the button there. We've got our cliches in action. It's only 8 minutes into this game. It feels like a lot longer.
It is 8 minutes into this game, yeah. I feel, I mean, look, I said at the start of this, do not underestimate J4Jet because he is playing a very good strategical move here. However, like, Nagano has been put under this pressure. Maybe now he sees the M19s. Maybe now he's thinking, should I have gone for the Lukes? Should I have waited for the Raketten? You know, he should be able to trust this micro that he could have worked that. Now he's in a very dangerous situation because he can't handle the Puma because of the bazookas and the Stuart. He can't handle the infantry because you know, the Stuart's there against the M19s. He has nothing really in terms of technicality. He doesn't have anything to push with. So at the moment, this is J4Jet's game. He should go for as much damage as possible and really try to drive the nail into Nagano here.
He should. And USF getting a win in this position, as these both players chose to play as OKW in the Factional Showdown Episode 2, would be a massive upset. Nagano, by the way, is the winner of Episode 1. He won as Wehrmacht versus Brits in many situations, mainly against Van Ivan in that final. So for J4Jet to get the win here would be huge. So we're big time looking at his play and his build and his all-encompassing attack in this particular game on Faymanville approach.
I do just want to point one thing out whilst we're talking about, obviously, I personally think J4Jet has a huge advantage here, but where that has stopped, fuel was still connected for Nagano. He's now going to decap all the resources again, so you know, he's not really let J4Jet get too far ahead of himself, which is the nice thing. You know, at the same time that he's been, you know, kind of in a bad position, he's made that position bad for Jet as well. Now we're going to see J4Jet, he's trying to just keep hold of his own resources. Double riflemen with the M19 upgrades are going to easily be able to push Volkswagen and Sturms off. They're just melting.
Melting. The Volkswagens have no chance against the rifleman onslaught here. They were phasing into account, but there are 8 of them, and 2 of them have a light machine gun. That Volkswagen has no chance against the United States Forces onslaught. Nagano is possibly thinking, hang on a second, I thought I'd steamroll this mini-tournament. J4Jet, who didn't even get to the final last week, is now in the final against me and possibly winning as, quote-unquote, the most underpowered faction. So Nagano is possibly feeling a little bit angsty here right now.
I think you can fall into calling any faction underpowered if you're playing them correctly. I think if you're going to leave yourself so hugely open like that, which that cancellation of the Lukes, you know, you basically let USF become overpowered because you've just put them in a position where you cannot counter them. That being said, Lukes has just hit the field. This is going to be a stunt in Nagano's teching, and I'm so sure now it's going to be Command Panther. I cannot see him confidently wanting to tech up to tier 4. I mean, maybe he wants to for the defense. It's nice to have the structure there, but right now, I mean, just go for the Command Panther. It's going to be your chance.
It is.
You know, to get back in this.
J4Jet's got a great build. They've got P47s to look forward to in the long run. Got the, of course, to look forward to as well. Nagano's still got choices to boot, but J4Jet looks in the ascendancy. even though if you look at the top middle of your screen, he's actually down on victory points, we can all tell in general he seems to have a little bit of a strategical / build order advantage.
This is exactly what we didn't see in the last game. This is such an important unit for mechanized regiment counter. Now he can bait with the Stuart. In fact, he's going to be pushing the loops off with that now. Hopefully that pulls the Puma in, which is currently sight blocked from the hedge. Tries to take a ground attack shot and misses. But the M1 AT gun is going to be there. And look at the position. Defending the Stuart so well, preemptive to the attack. J4Jet is he's a good player.
They're bros. They're the bros. The M1 and the Stuart are brothers, and they will look after one another and protect one another on the battlefield. The Stuart will bait. It will pose a problem for Nagano. Nagano will react overly to that problem and then fall into the M1 trap. And that's exactly what J4Jet is trying to accomplish here on the battlefield. And let's talk about the battlefield. We're currently 13 minutes in. It feels a lot longer because this is a very competitive game. We're 52 manpower for J4Jet. We are 54 manpower for Nagano. In terms of victory points, we're starting to see a little bit more parity as Nagano falls a little bit, thanks to the middle point being held by J4Jet. And Dan, in general, this game has legs for days.
It does. I'm just a little bit worried here. I mean, the one place that it doesn't have legs is that we're 7 CP at the moment, and J4Jet, who hasn't decided to take up to Major, I think he's waiting for the Calliope straight off. And having the M1 AT gun there means that he doesn't need to go for like tech. He can bait with the Stuart. The M1 AT gun defends, and then he doesn't need to take up to Sherman. It basically just removes this whole thing that the mechanized regiment provides in OKW. So when this Calliope comes out, there isn't going to be anything, and that's quite worrying. That being said, Nagano is playing an excellent micro game and is still managing to push Jet back into the base territory. Nice shot from the M1 AT gun. Will the Stuart push?
No. The danger of the Faust is way too much. The M1 is there to keep it at bay and to hopefully keep control of that central victory point. If you check on the south right now, Dan, it looks like Nagano is capping that point. And J4Jet, I have to admit, is not in the strongest position with regard to victory points against OKW, Dan. As USF, you were always worrying about that 30-minute onwards kind of OKW.
I think we see a little bit of a mistake.
The Puma, it takes it out regardless thanks to the MG34 with the vehicle kill.
I'm not actually sure if smoke was the best thing there, though, because it looks like it may have protected the Stuart from a ground attack. There we go. Raketin manages to get the snipe. I think the vehicle crew... Oh, no, they did not survive that.
Check on the MG34. I think I got a vehicle kill there, Dan. 4 kills. What got the vehicle? Was it Raketin?
There was the Raketin.
Oh, fair enough. There we go. Raketin with the kill. That's Nagano showing what the Russians do best, and that's use Raketins to their advantage. Taking a bit of advice from his brethren, Jove.
I mean, it's a shame that he loses the Stuart, because I think the Stuart was the best bait to draw in the mechanized units into the M1 AT gun. What he needs to be doing, though, is pushing, even if it's just a move with these riflemen, he needs to be getting on top of that and really just letting them work their way through. He's got the mortar, he needs to be smoking the MG34, he needs to be progressing with the M19s. But we saw...
Oh, what's this? What's this? 47?
It's, it's the...
This could be good. Oh, yes, Dan, get that GTX 1080 working for you, baby.
It's got to do something for its money, believe me.
Exactly, indeed. Look beautiful for those fleeting milliseconds. Fantastic. I have to say, Dan, does this remind you of a certain point in January 2016?
My memory doesn't really go.
Barton versus... I know, yes, sorry. Barton versus Jesulin. We've got USF with the Calliope coming out.
You're very right.
Versus OKW with the Lukes.
Yeah.
If you remember that game, me and you were fledgling casters at the time as a duo, and then we cast that game and it made us men.
I did feel more manly after watching that game. I felt like I'd witnessed some kind of historic ordeal. It was a very, very good game, and it is similar here. But the only reason that Jeslin never lost that game is because of lack of diversity. In fact, here we see that J4Jet has decided to tech. He didn't feel like he was coming up to 10 CP early enough, so he's decided he's going to tech and get a Sherman out. Why not? If you've got the resources. And I think he's done a sensible thing there to actually tech up now, because he's going to come up to the amount to get the Calliope relatively soon. We've got off-map here. I think that was called in by Major. Yes, Major Artillery there on the point, trying to cover the strategic decap. Even though it's not decapping anything at the moment, just taking any resources he can. And now the Sherman's on the field.
Sherman's a great choice.
It is.
It's a good all-rounder.
But
if you've got the M1, it's getting vet.
Was it needed? He's
maybe safer Jackson. I don't know. With USF, it always seems damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because you either play with great micro with these medium armor tanks, or you don't. And these plays are always rolls of the dice, and they can either come off or they can fail miserably. And players such as Jet, that's right, Jeff, as USF are judged by these plays if they succeed or if they do not.
Oh, this is a mistake here. Rifleman trying to get the 18 node off, but it means that they're on a late retreat at the moment. Low health. The Lux is going to retreat, and meaning they may survive this, but the boom is going up for some reason. Okay, it's because of the Sherman. Sherman is there, and here is a battle I'm interested in seeing, because the M1 AT gun could be setting up. Is he going to take a ground attack through the hedgerow?
Attack ground. Come on, son. Attack ground through the hedgerow.
Ground attack, not attack ground. These are two entirely different mechanics.
Dan, I do not care for your pretentiousness. It's definitely attack ground, as we see. And one thing I have to bring into question in general is that we really do seem to be heading into the mid to late game. And to all 200 of you buggers watching right now on Stormless.tv/Twitch. That's right, Dan. I reversed the URL there. It's definitely twitch.tv/Stormless. Watching Factional Showdown, you're seeing the best casting duo in Code 2 competitive history. That's right, better than TFN, better than
they're
Army
not.
and Romeo. I don't give a shit. We're the best, man. We are the best. If you want to see the greatest Code 2 action live cast for you in person on this Friday night, please get your friends on Steam watching this shit right now, because this is the stuff. This is Jet, who is riding high as rank 4 auto match, versus Nagano. Oh my god, what a name. Looked better than it was originally. Still pretty good. Versus Nagano, one of the greatest tournament players in KO2 history. Get people into the stream right now, because we demand an audience, and these players do as well.
That is right, and let's have a quick look at what's been going on in the game so far. We did see no retreat there from one of the mortars after an incendiary from the Volksgrenadiers was laid down. Jet is still trying to harass the resources, and what was a triple cap a couple of minutes ago is fast being turned around by Nagano, who still hasn't picked a doctrine yet. Again, I'm still going to go back to this because I don't even know where this is at the moment. It's okay, repairing in the base. I don't know if I like the Sherman as a choice. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I mean it's one of those. We've got the double mortars in now. They should be harassing the MG34. Like, they should be providing the smoke. The Sherman should be going in high explosive, trying to target it through the smoke. M19's picking up everything in the room. This can work. This can work really well.
I prefer more than a Sherman. I love the Scott and the Jackson as a combination. The Sherman can do both roles kind of independently, but the Scott and the Jackson just do both roles extremely well. And I genuinely feel that Jet is building towards the Calliope. He seems to be soul-minded in the overall destruction of the OKW army here. And Nagano's still residing, by the way, on the foundation that he built for himself 10 minutes ago. And that foundation was the Puma and the Lux Panzer II tank. And he's still residing on that with the accompaniment of 2 Raketenwerfers. As we see on our screen right now, we've got the Major pushing for the Northern Victory Point. We've got the Volksgrenadiers Vet 3 with the Sturmgewehr pushing for the Southern Victory Point. We've got KD in Nagano's favour, 83-75. This game is poised for Armageddon. This game is 21 minutes in. Victory Point counts are narrowing, and me and Dan's erections are getting larger.
Thanks for that. I just want to say, like, we had a couple of things happen there, which I think actually may have just tipped things in favour of Nagano. Just check out the resources right now. We are coming up on 225 fuel for the Command Panther Special Operations. I couldn't have called this game more than it was going to go.
No.
But unfortunately, this game could have been managed Jet. I actually don't think he's in a position where he can take this now, because if he dives into that Calliope, he loses. The Panther is more than capable of dealing with everything that's on the field now for USF.
Oh, it is, and here it comes, here it comes. The Panzer can fucking fall. The Panther is a ultimate beast of Hitler's wet fantasies. It hits during the Battle of Kursk. The steppe is 54 tons of quantified destruction. It's the modern equivalent of the the main battle tank, the thing that the Abrams is based on. And also, Dan, what are you seeing right now on your screen?
Well, I'm seeing the mistake of the game, really. And he doesn't know it. I think, personally, he should have predicted Special Operations was going to be the pick and that this is where it's coming from. But look at this. We are seeing Nagano go balls deep into this. He's going to try and micro around the M1AT gun. Takes advantage of the fact that that is slow to set up, and he's not going to be any mines here. So he's gone in with marked target. J4Jet tries to pop the smoke discharge to try and get out of there, but it's not going to work. We've got increased damage for penetrating shots here from the Command Panther as it goes in. One more shot is going to kill it. Can he get in the smoke here? Pressure's on Nagano now for a ground attack through the smoke. And he's going to try and push through, but he will take an 18-8.
Rear armor facing there, Dan. He's showing his arse, and he gets punished for it. There was nothing J4Jet could do there. The Panther was dominant. The Panther was a bully. And the Panther now actually is showing its rear armor. And here comes the AT grenade, possibly.
No, still no AT grenade. That has not been clicked so far. In that entire engagement, he did not snare that command panther. Now he's trying to do it. Now that he's got the AT gun in position, Luke's is going to come round the back to try and disable it.
Oh, here we go.
No, I don't think he's got it. I don't think he can.
Oh, it's close down the rear of the army. It's down to 5% of the Panther. What's going to happen here? This is so close. He's suppressed. He's got the AT gun. Let's focus on the AT gun, Dan. Where's the AT gun? Is he getting in position? AT gun's going to go down. Luke's to the rescue. AT gun down to one man. Does not manage to get the shot off. Nagano with a big win there. He traded up, he traded well, and he won in that engagement.
Yeah, that could have gone a lot differently if he had the snare off earlier. Still hasn't used the Calliope. In fact, that's coming in now. Let's see where that's going. Tried to get it to do the Vet 4 Volksgrenadiers on the center. Has not worked. I would say at this point it's quite comfortably in favor of Nagano. He played his cards right. He made the right decision there. And it's just very unfortunate that Jay didn't kind of guess that was going to be the pick. Man,
where was the AT grenade there from those rifles? You've got three vet... Oh god, there's still a squad rifle. They've got three vet 2/3 riflemen. And we needed to see the anti-tank rifle grenade there. That Panther could have been toast if it was unleashed a little bit more sooner. Oh, and he's handing in the towel. J4Jet, where's your fighting spirit, my friend?
I think that was fair. I think
really,
I think he got himself into a point where it doesn't work there for USF. I think that's very, very difficult to come back from.
If he'd kill that Panther,
you've got, OKW's got anti-infantry, anti-tank, a combination of both with a coordinated fire. You've got Vet 4, Vet 5 flying up on the infantry. I think that was very difficult. The sad thing was though is that he could have won that. He really, really actually could have beat Nagano. He's on the same skill level.
Yes, he really is.
He's on the same skill level as Nagano. He just didn't make the right decisions.
What was the victory point? Shite. We should have really
about 230 to 339. I think. If it tells you here, 229. Sorry for J4Jet and 317 for Nagano. But a great game.
317. Just record the winners. Yeah, 317. Okay, we recorded that 317 for Nagano. So we now go to game 2. With this time J4Jet is OKW, Nagano is the United States Forces. Let's see if J4Jet can overcome the Russian Behemoth in game 2 to get it to that all-encompassing ace game where the VP leader gets choice of faction.
You mind if we go to a break screen? Is that alright?
Yes, you got some beers?
That will do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That will do, absolutely. Guys, we are going to take a very, very
quick,
reasonable break. Why not? Why not? We'll be back very shortly with the next... How many games are there left?
Best of 3, so it could be 1 or 2.
Oh, okay. Got you.
So if you're watching this right now, I want you to literally get everybody you can into this stream. Me and Danny used to at least 10,000 viewers, possibly 100,000. You know, get everybody you can in. We need to see this stream light up.
Hello guys, welcome back. We're about to get into our best of 3.
Second game. Game of the best of 3. We've got Nagano 1-0 up as OKW against J for Jet's USF. J for Jet this time gets to play as his chosen faction, OKW, against Nagano's weaker faction, USF, in the game 2 on Faymanville Approach in the final of the second episode of Factional Showdown.
That's right. I'm surprised to hear that USF is Nagano's weaker faction. It seems like the kind of faction that would be his prime to me.
He's the OKW master.
He is. Okay, yeah. Do you know, we were talking about this earlier when he used to play against Jove, and when he really, really got into OKW. Like, he actually, like, took Jove's strategy, do you remember? And beat him with it, and I was like, that is awesome.
Legend.
So awesome to see, but let us get into this game right now. It is game 2 of our best of 3 series, and already with one game in hand after, I think, a strategic misplay by J for Jet, who could have easily taken that first game. Nagano playing as the USF on the north of Faymanville Approach, 1-0 up.
Oh, he is indeed, and he's up against J for Jet, the battling J for Jet, the warrior J for Jet. As OKW, his chosen faction, the unbeaten OKW right now. This faction has not been beaten in this factional showdown, as we see the glorious converted Volkswagen Beetle with the spare tyre. That's right, 5 tyres. This is the Volkswagen Ace. And then we focus in on the Rifleman. What chance do Rifleman have, Daniel?
A very good chance, in fact. Really? Yeah, a very good chance. Let's just see how the coup was used, because we saw this in the game Nagano played with Von Ivan, where the fact that it's very, very good when you keep it with the Stern Pioneers. You know, you use the Kubel to just get good bursts of damage off, repair the health really quickly. You don't take manpower hits. It's a very, very good starting game unit for that. One of the reasons why OKW are so, strong early game orientators is the fact that they can do this. Cap with the Stern Pioneers, harass with the Kubel, repair with the Stern Pioneers. Very, very good combination.
Talking about Stern Pioneers, here they come with Sturmgewehrs. They're coming against rear echelons. Automatic retreat from Nagano. This is a guy, Dan, that is molded in the realm of Company of Heroes 1, where the manpower dynamic in the early game was so crucial. You retreat from any sign of attrition. Any sign of manpower attrition, you retreat from it. Even if it's 10 manpower, you do not risk it. You only enter into engagements you can win. And Nagano is from that school of thinking, and that's what makes him such a powerful player.
He's a powerful player, and ultimately that's what tipped the last game for him. Other than that, J for Jet had him on the run, and that is that is a lot to say for itself. This time around, let's just have a look at this. Nagano is pushing very well. He's taking the Rifleman to the right hand side. I would say Rifleman against OKW, they take a little bit of time to pick up. Great when you get into the captain. If you do get that AT gun out and your opponent has gone mechanized, you're in a great position as USF. It's just about getting that early game. You have to focus and really hit it. And what he's done here, he lost the left hand side, but he got a little bit off with the echelons, and that's allowed him to say, okay, do you know what? Axis are focused on the left hand side, forces are in the west, let's progress to take resources on the east. And that's what he's done, and he's got it nailed down pretty well at the moment. So starting game territories have been decided already. Interesting one to fight from, because OKW is very, very close to this fuel point. There is negative cover to cross, but it is a long reinforced distance for Nagano to get to. So J for Jet, very, very good position at the start of the game.
He's in a strong position. He's got his 3 Foch Grenadiers. He's got his Stern Pioneer pushing out. And look at him behind this green cover. He's daring the Riflemen to push in. He's daring them to try and take what should rightfully be theirs. And look at those Core 98 rifles beyond that very, very early 20th century looking vehicle, with the Kubelwagen in the distance, full 4 scope. Again, pushing the advantage for Jet, to be honest, because Nagano's had to change direction here. And look at the health dynamic of those riflemen. That's rapidly diminishing.
This is really weird. I mean, he got the veteran C1 there, but he was too close range to use the AT nade, so he actually doesn't get the chance to destroy the Kubel there. Looks like he actually is going to get away with a fraction of health. Main gun destroyed. A swarm of Volksgrenadiers come in to try and clear these riflemen off of the green cover point. And look at this. They've got the territory decap. This is exactly what Jet needed to do. He's taken his own resources. Instead of trying to cap the right, just focus on the decap. He can put everything into this and not suffer. Look, he's harassing the base unit.
He's got 3 squads dominating for the decap. He's got the cut-off position on Faymanville approach northwest, and the riflemen are having to try and cope with this. Oh god, one-man rifleman though. Could this be the ultimate price to pay? It is the ultimate price to pay. A 3-man Volksgrenadier has to retreat across the negative cover now. He's already lost 1. Is fuel economy?
This is quite, he could lose this very, very easily. 1 shot in negative cover. That is a very, very lucky there. And late retreats. He made a very good push, but that was a very late retreat. Fortunately, he's banking manpower. He's got 500 stacked up. He could easily plug in 2 Volksgrenadiers and push this back up to a infantry standoff again in terms of what's on the field. Don't think he's going to do that though. He has gone in with Scavenger Doctrine, so we could be seeing building spawn Jaeger light infantry come on the map at any moment.
We could be. It's a good point. I mean, you could always get Jaeger light infantry from a spawn point. But the bigger point right now is Jet is manpower down. He's deficient. He's lost a Volksgrenadier against Nagano, who should be on his weaker, quote-unquote, faction. Nagano is as USF, the faction he did not choose to play as in the Factional Showdown. Jet should be in the lead. Here he is with his first Jaeger spawning from the northeast fuel garrison. And it's not looking too great for him. He's got to make an inroad and he's got to try and find a win. And he's got to try and get a manpower advantage. Otherwise he's out.
Very, very interestingly, you're very right to say that is one huge side of it. I always focus on a specific different side, and this is one of the core things about this game is commander selection, right? I don't think people put enough emphasis on the sway that this has. He has just revealed he's gone for Scavenge, right? Nagano can be thinking himself right now, he's gone for Scavenge. He's got to tech up to a tier 4 if he wants to do anything like this. He's going to get the Austrian to ACP if he wants to, but hey, I've got Heavy Cavalry Company. It can't be countered by Special Operations Doctrine now. This is something that I think, especially with Axis, you don't want to be choosing that card. You don't want to be letting allies pick the counter, because that, in my opinion, is where games go wrong, is when you choose first. He's only picking, I think he's only picking Scavenge for the Jaeger light infantry because he lost that squad. Otherwise, I don't think we would have seen this pick. I personally think that's a mistake. I think Nagano now can go Heavy Cavalry Company and not have to worry about Command Panther if he's been paying attention there, and that will be a very, very dominant anti-tank and anti-infantry unit on the field. It can change this game.
Yeah, exactly. With that choice, he would have a possible answer to every possible question posed to him. And that's what makes this game so interesting. It is G2. We have got Nagano with a distinct advantage as OKW. We are looking for Jet to try and close Nagano out in terms of victory points. We're looking for Jet to get a all-encompassing dominant win over Nagano to get to that game 3 and choose OKW. Because from everyday kind of oversight and observation, it would seem from this particular episode of Factional Showdown that OKW does get the win over USF. However, we are willing to be proven wrong. Jet, however, has got to make advantage of our kind of interim conclusions, and he's got to try and win with as little victory points remaining for his opponents.
It's a very tough one to call, because I mean, you know, that USF has almost won. They almost won the first game. I think it could have been done relatively easy, and you know, this is a good way to watch this, because again, these two players, they're very, very closely matched. You know, even with the the squad wipe that we saw. You know, in general, these two players have been very, very closely matched together. So it's a very, very interesting to watch matchups between these two. They seem to be playing on an even footing. And J for Jet there, he's trying to recover his situation at the moment after Nagano gained a little bit of strength. We're now going to see the Stuart hit the field from the captain tech. It's a little bit late, and it's coming in just 9 minutes.
Late, Stuart.
It is late, but I think it's necessary because we only have the Puma on the field. The Lukes on the field at the moment. We might see the Puma come out as a response, and if he can drain OKW's fuel resource for that, that's good.
In a bit of a situation. So is this one. Stern Pioneer is advancing. We've got J for Jet in a bit of an ascendant position, but here comes the Stuart to try and prove Nagano has a standpoint in this game as USF. Could this be the first USF win in today's mini tournament? J for Jet advancing with the Jaeger Light Infantry in the southwest. We've got Nagano pushing to try and finally get his own standard territory points with the Rifleman. Here we've got the Jaeger Light Infantry pushing further and further up, trying to push away that M1 AT gun. The Jaeger Light Infantry standing on the exact precipice of that capping point, just proving once and for all they are the calling unit of choice. Oh god, what a shot in from that Stuart.
That was a nice shot. I get the impression as well he's trying to ram the building to try and get the support structure down, which of course would down the building with the MG inside. Good idea, but it's going to take a long time to do that with the Stuart. I really like, by the way, and I think one thing with the Stuart, I think Stuart's probably one of the hardest units to do it with. But oh my gosh, a huge infiltration grenade there. Wipes the squad in the building. That is Riflemen that have just gone down there. And a really, really nice pickup for Jet. Nagano is not going to like that. And that kind of evens the field out from that earlier Volksgrenadier we saw go down. So perfect pickup there. 80 gun for Nagano goes down too. The manpower hits are amazing at the moment. Luke's comes in to close, which means 80 gun cannot be recruited.
Can we get an assault tab on that Luke's? That is a beast, that tank.
I see good here and I see bad here. I see good in the sense that 80 guns decrewed, he could push the Stuart. I see bad in the fact that he feels the need to push for Puma when he could potentially pick up a US AT gun.
He could. However, look at that. Stuart is holding its ground. You've got the Rifleman gaining veterancy. Vet 2 4-man squad is going to push away the STG first grenade despite the infiltration grenade, and that M1 is not going to be capped anytime soon. And in fact, it is capped for the Riflemen. However, they've got to keep it. They've got to keep it against the advance of the OKW army. And here it comes. M1's trying to retreat. This is very important for how this battle will develop. Here comes the threat of an anti-tank rifle grenade. And the Lukes has got to back out of there. That's a big win for Nagano.
Yeah, that was good. That was good, and actually, it's actually worked out well for him going Puma now because he didn't take the AT gun. He's going to need that on the field. He doesn't have the Raketen, and thinking about it, he's got the Lukes, which is a great harassment. He's very close to getting the Ostwind, and when he's got that trio out, I think we're way before the time we're going to see Sherman, perhaps. So, he's actually got a very, very good chance to go with some really heavy-hitting light to medium vehicles. Puma's coming in here trying to take some shots on the Stuart. It's a lovely opening hit, and the M1 AT gun is lining up a defensive position to try and counter the threat of the Puma coming in. And Jet doing a very, very good job here to try and reclaim territory, slowly pushing Nagano out of the territory, capping strategically.
Oh yes, he is. He's
nice.
doing a cracking job. And I mean, Dan, I have to ask you the question at this point. Do you want to see the possible better on paper player Nagano make it to just win the entire thing 2-0? Or do you want to possibly see J for Jet prove that OKW is possibly better than USF overall and make it to a best of 3 final?
I'm not in the impression that OKW is better than USF.
Really?
I don't believe that.
Okay.
I honestly don't, and I also think J for Jet has, in my opinion, already proved he's the same caliber as Nagano. He's in terms of his play styles.
Okay.
He's just missing out on some of the knowledge, and that last game could have easily been won by USF.
Honestly?
Yeah, I do think that if he had made some different attacking choices and spotted things in advance, predicted special operations, it is difficult. We've seen USF, commander based. Let's just take Armor Company. How OP is Armor Company?
It's good.
It's
good, but it's banned in this tournament because we allowed the players commander bans. and everybody's banned armor. We're not seeing armor in this particular mini tournament, and it is a product of that League of Legends style banning of 2 commanders in this particular confrontation. And here we go. We got the very interesting dynamic between. Oh god, possibly the captain going down. SCGs do have the drop off when it gets to long range. Elsewhere in the middle of the map, we've got the Jaegers with the G43s pushing away the rifles. There we go, big, massive kill from these called-in Jaegers. That is a brutal call-in mechanic, Dan. That's from the Garrison, getting the squad wipe in circumstantial conditions. How do you feel about that?
I thought that was very good. I thought that was excellent play. I think this is very unfortunate, though. Tries to retreat, blocked in by the Stuart. He should have gone back into the building and then retreated.
Do you realise what that is a big win for the kind of intelligent modding community? They want to see these garrisons annihilated. They do not want to see players have the ability to click and spawn in a unit from a garrison. So to see that Jaeger get the squad wipe, but then get annihilated, possibly could be seen as a good thing for some people. Sorry for spitting on you, Dan.
I was trying to do it. You didn't have to say it out loud. I was
No,
trying
but
to be
I
really
saw you
like.
swimming.
I
You
was
were
trying to be
treading.
really.
You were treading water, Dan.
I was trying to do it really tactfully. But yeah, I mean, like, actually, I don't mind building spawns. That was buggy.
I hate building spawns. My fix is 5 seconds minimum. You click it, then you have to wait 5 seconds.
I think the fact that a lot of the building spawns, the cost is incredibly high.
Yeah,
it kind of matches out, to be honest. It's like when you try and pump these Jaeger light infantry out to counter a sniper. I mean, you're trading for a 20 manpower advantage when the sniper's probably already done enough damage to you. It's still not a good trade. And you know, it can be damaging. It can be damaging for a unit that's already had its potential. It's over. You counter it. What have you gained? Sometimes nothing. So I don't think the mechanic is bad at all.
I hate the mechanic.
Some are more broken than
Got
others.
to disagree with you, especially with partisans, with the tank hunters. And look at the Ostwind. By the way, 45 of these things built during World War II. They were meant to attack air. In this game, they attack infantry. They are an ultimate annihilation machine. They can be so good in the right situation. And the fact that J for Jet has gone for a call-in Ostwind of the Scavenger Company, if I was playing against him, I'd be worried about the Scavenger artillery. The Ostwind I can cope with, especially with the M1AT gun, especially with the vetted rifleman. And if I were to get a medium armor or possibly get something better out, I'd be okay to cope with the Ostwind. But now I'd be thinking, holy crap, this guy's gone Scavenger. And I'd be thinking, holy crap, that means artillery.
Tough one.
Oh, here it comes though. Here it comes, the Ostwind. Look at that flak panzer, Dan. It's going to go to work on everything Nagano has to offer. Dan's drinking a beer right now because he knows he's in for a show. He's in for a cinematic experience as the Ostwind goes in for the kill. J for Jet is trying to make it to the final. J for Jet is trying to make it to the ace game of this best of 3 to choose. For once and for all, that OKW is dominant.
Yeah, that's correct. That was a nice push there. Nice to draw out with the Ostwind, which is now going back for repairs. Luke's Puma combination comes in to harass the center. We see Nagano's text up to the Major because, of course, he's coming up to the time he's going to be selecting Sherman or Jackson. I think it has to be Jackson. Absolutely has to be Jackson.
Choose. Why don't we see Jackson more often?
I don't know, because in my opinion, the Jackson, when you've got M19s, is perfect.
Awesome.
If you have Mortar, M19 Rifleman, Jackson,
Amazing.
you are very, very good against Scavenge, where it's entirely medium tier vehicles. I think you're in one of the best positions you could be in for USF. So a difficult situation. A couple of people in chat saying, you know, no armor company, no win. I kind of agree in terms of the ease of play basis.
Ease of play.
But I don't think it's necessarily true.
No.
A Jackson here with a Mortar would be very, very good.
Where is the Jackson? I mean, the Jackson is expensive, but the Jackson when in the right hands, aka we're dealing with top 10 in the world players here, ladies and gentlemen. A Jackson in the right hands has the health damage and armor penetration to really cause a problem. And it's a big shame to me that we don't see it as often as we do.
And he has the Vet 3 vehicle crew already. He could have got the Jackson out with Veteran C1 for the high armor piercing rounds. Second Ostwind's out. I personally would say Jackson would shred this.
We do know in terms of statistics, the Sherman's going in against the Puma. We've got to keep an eye on this confrontation. The Sherman has got to destroy the Puma first. It's going in for the third shot. He's one third shot down. Will he be able to make it? Oh!
Yeah, it's a tough one. He's trying to come in there with the Stuart. It's not going to work. Puma, I don't know. I don't know what that decision was about.
Man, he needed to destroy the Puma. Then he would have had free reign, and he wasn't able to get it. Nagano's now a sitting duck out there on the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. On Faymansville approach, we're now seeing J4Jet about to make the win as the second game in this best of 3 confrontation.
Yep, that was a rough one there. We've seen the M1AT gun come out a bit too late, unfortunately. A shame. I do think that's a shame.
One thing I have to draw your attention to is the top right of your screen. J4Jet has 447 victories, but Nagano in the previous game had 317. That would mean possibly in a G3, J4Jet on Faymansville approach would have OKW his choice and could possibly be the winner of episode 2 of Factional Showdown if he were to get his coveted OKW choice. Regardless, Nagano is a tournament winner. J4Jet is an unproven specimen. Anything's to play for today or tonight. Whatever time you may be viewing Stormless and I casting this top-level competitive action, everything is to play for, and we're in for an absolute showdown.
J4Jet here is going to be committing to his mechanized regiment loadout. He's going to go for that other Puma, and I guess that's a very, very good decision for him in countering another Sherman should it come on the field. In fact, we got the M1AT gun right now, and there just isn't enough for Nagano. I think he's going to try and go for that VPs. I think, you know, based on what you said about VPs, of course,
definitely
that makes sense to keep playing until he can try it and find a way to get those. It's going to be difficult, though. I think if he can save up, if he can maybe get some more AT guns, or maybe if he can save up for Jackson, I think that's unlikely. It's probably going to have to be AT guns from here. 2 AT guns with this will still do very well. It will still
I don't know, mate.
with
with that Luke's and the 2 Ostvins. Look at that Ostvin just reigning supreme, going around the pizza saying, "I want a margarita," and he's going to be dominating any AT guns that come into his midst right now. I mean, that M1's doing okay for now, but you've got to imagine an open battlefield setting. You've got Luke's highly vetted, and you've got the other Ostvin to cope with, and it's not going to work out too well for Nagano in this game.
Here's the interesting one. 18 nade goes down on the Ostwind. We're going to have an 18 nade on the Lukes as well. 80 gun is setting up with a little bit of distance to the Ostwind to get a final shot on. This should penetrate. He's put the armor-piercing rounds on. It does go down low. Very unfortunate. The Lukes has now got ability to fire on top of the Rifleman. Right, wow, wipes 2 Riflemen there. Yeah. And are we going to see a recrew of this AT gun? It would be chaos if we did. That has got to be GG. Nagano has to throw it now. Has to.
Nagano's got to know that J4Jet ended up with more victory points than he did in his OKW win, which is going to give him victory points control and faction selection going into game 3. So possibly the underdog, J4Jet, has the strategical advantage going into game 3. So, I mean, Dan, I said, personally speaking, I feel OKW has the advantage in live patch over USF. Where do you feel right now?
Faction to faction, OKW is stronger.
Okay.
I do think, though, USF could have won both occasions in these games.
What accounts for yours and Tenshi's losing streak in 2v2 is OKW?
Just
Tenshi.
Just none of that. By the way, Co for the win. I did see your donations. Thank you very much for the donation. Nice. Me and A will be sure to split it on
about the money,
on a beer each. I do think this, and I'm sure people will be disagreeing with me a little bit. I do think there are some combinations to USF that can counter that.
They can.
If Ostwind, Lukes, and Puma, Jackson with M19s, I think is very good.
It's good.
I do think it's good.
It's good.
And you know, because
is it as good as
you've got the
18
because you've got the 18 nades and you've got the Jackson at long range. I do think that could have worked. But again, it does come down to the fact that in general, yes, OKW is stronger. They're easier to work with, and it requires more more effort to do with USF. It's a shame, but yeah, I do think that first game could have been won by USF.
I'm sorry, but there's a Talk lyric from the 80s. It's a shame to believe in this game. It's a shame to believe in this game. You hit it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Stern Panther, I would thoroughly disagree with you. Jackson could have come out the same time that Sherman did. Sherman, I believe, was the wrong choice.
Come on, the Jackson's effing good. If you support the Jackson, it can get you into that middle map of Feynman-Ville approach, and that's what people possibly aren't understanding. It's all you need on Feynman-Ville approach. You don't need a Jackson to go Commando Rambo, going around the back lines and taking out tanks. You need a Jackson to just keep away these medium armor nuisances that are the Puma and are the Panzer II.
I would have said differently if there was Tier 4, if we'd have seen Command Panther as a possibility or anything else. But the fact that there was only Ostwinds and light vehicles, Jackson is king. Always, king. Like for range, a well micro Jackson with some AT snares from the rifles is. I can't see any way Scavenge Doctrine would beat that from the base. I don't see any way. Like, you'd have to be terrible. And J for Jet, who's playing the same level as Nagano, could have microed that. He could have easily.
And to be honest,
I'd argue that has.
Let's just talk about one thing right now. Nagano, to me, is a guy that wants to prove himself on every level in Company of Heroes competitive tournament history in the past 2 years. He's entered every tournament he can do. He loves to win. J for Jet now has a commanding advantage going into Game 3 of this final. He has victory point control, which means he gets choice, and he will get possibly the ability to play as OKW. Nagano is going to be possibly playing on the back foot, and that makes for a very exciting game on Feynman-Ville approach.
I'm pretty excited for Game 3, actually. I have to say, these guys have put on a very good show. They put on a very good show for us today. This is it, isn't it? Starts in 3 minutes. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, and exactly what you described.
I think, honestly, like, this is open-ended. I mean, there isn't a... What did we see there? We saw infantry. We saw it picked for the M19s. They're really good. They completely change infantry to infantry engagement. It's how you manage everything around that. Rifle company, not sure on this map. Heavy cavalry company, maybe because there's no Command Panther. But I think it's got to be a flick up between those. If you're going to go with infantry company, I'd be interested to see what he does this time. At least with heavy cavalry company, you have a call-in. So you can focus on your whatever your first upgrade is, whether it's do you know what I mean? Whether it's lieutenant, major, or it's gonna be captain, really, isn't it, for the AT gun? Unless you're going airborne.
It is against OKW every time. You're never going to see M20. Unfortunately, it's always going to be captain. It's always going to be Stuart, and always AT gun, because you're always fearing that Panzer II Lukes. And the only time you would ever go M20 is if the OKW had advantage, and for some reason went battle grouper and ISG, and you saw those shells coming in from afar, and then you would think, hang on, okay, maybe I can get a lieutenant.
That doesn't happen though.
It doesn't happen though, does it? Because then you've probably GG'd by then and quit. But let's face it, if you're a combative USF player, you've gone for captain, you've gone for Stuart, you've gone for AT gun, and that gives you the ability to get back into this thing. On paper, Dan, gonna say it, Nagano, from everything we've seen in the past 2 years, casting together, seeing competitive gameplay, Nagano's a daddy G. This guy's a beast. J for Jet's got everything to prove and has won the VP dynamic in this best of 3. We're in a fantastic engagement.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the power position right now because, of course, he's playing OKW as well. So he has, what is at least by today's measure, he has the advantage. Playing OKW's, have they had 100%? They've had 100%, haven't they?
OKW's won every single game.
They're on a win rate of 100%, so
Jackie
it's
boy,
going to be...
the vibes are calling. How's it going, my friend? This, by the way, everybody, is Jack. He is the leader of Expos Media, and he will be the business host of Grand Championship Series Series 2 next year, and he will offer us audio conditions better than a Tamagotchi.
Thanks, brother. Cheers. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
There you go.
All right, so J for Jet playing as the South, game 3 of the series now as OKW, and he is in a 1-1 situation versus Nagano.
That's right, he's in a 1-0 situation against Nagano. Nagano is battling from a deficit. He's lost in the previous game. J for Jet is riding high. It's a 1-1 situation, rather. Sorry, my bad. It's a 1-1 situation. J for Jet battle for victory point control, and he's had the ability to choose OKW in the final. OKW has it lost today, Dan?
No.
No, it has not. OKW is reigning supreme in today's episode of Factional Showdown versus USF. Nagano's got to battle as USF against the reigning supreme faction, and let's see what he does today.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard build. We've actually seen Kubel come in every single time today. Only variation has been with 2 Kubels, which we saw Nagano play versus Von Ivan's Mechanized Regiment when he was playing against him on Crossing in the Woods. So, yeah, it's good. We've seen this every game. We haven't seen the Kubel this aggressive, though, I think. Backed up with the Stern Pioneers, who are closing in on this green cover position against the Rifleman. Kubel's going to pull it out a little bit because it's losing quite a lot of health. And this is slightly more aggressive than what Nagano is playing.
Pioneers down to 2 men. Rifleman trying to stick it out. We've got another Rifleman in the east. Stern Pioneers have to retreat past them. Will they drop down to 1 man? Yes, they will. They're on difficult cover. They're trying to retreat. That's a good win for Nagano.
Yeah, it is a good win in the sense that Kubel is going to lose a little bit of effect when it can't be repaired close by. This is a nice push off, though, for J for Jet, who should be able to start claiming the right-hand side now. Nagano's made a strong push for the strategic decap close to the southern base, which means J for Jet really should just consider fully pushing on the right-hand side. And this is a bad engagement for Nagano here against the Kubelwagen. J for Jet may have made a mistake allowing Nagano to get into green cover from the tractor.
I might have to say Nagano is going to be absolutely going ham for leather here. He's going to be trying to literally just choke J for Jet out in the early game. Nagano is a true competitor of the Company Heroes series. He knows how the factions play, and he knows USF's best chances in the early game before OKW is truly dominant. And here we go. We got the USF Riflemen pushing against these first grenades, pushing them away from their own fuel point.
It's better play from him. It's better play at the start. Nagano, here we go. You see him closing the gap constantly. He sees the Volksgrenadiers aiming for the green cover. He's going to push in close distance so he gets the DPS advantage that USF has in close range. Very, very good idea to do that before Volksgrenadiers upgrade to STGs. 18-8 is available if he wants to try and get the Kubel. He needs to get a little more distance before he can actually pop that ability. And there we go. It's just been activated now. Can he finish it off with the Rifleman squad? It's very unlikely, but he needs to start running around the Kubel, which is...
Post grenades to back up. The Kubel is going to win this one because of a 2-man Rifleman isn't able to get the kill. Let's have a look at the overall attack map right now. Let's have a look at the early game. We've got the USF actually the commanding position here, Dan. Nagano, despite being down in victory points for this deciding ace game, one game-to-one game decider, has gotten the 2 fuel points.
This is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Maybe we're going to see M20 here. That is very possible because M20 timing. And he's going to go for the MG. Nice. Interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, M20 timing is kind of good in the sense you do get a little bit of a window before Luke's comes out, but ultimately, you know, unless you're getting it with an M20 mine, you know, you don't get the entire value out of it. But okay, maybe he's gone for that for the MG, and that would give him good lockdown power. If he can bring that out and he can just drive that up the center to strategic points, maybe here or here, then he can completely cut off resources and stall the Lukes a little bit as J for Jet is trying to climb for it. So Nagano, I think, maybe has a little bit of an idea here. Let's see if he can implement it.
Dan, I have to say, in this overall game, if you're watching this right now, get yourselves a beer, my friend, because this is lined up for the showdown. We've got possibly an overall strategically powerful faction, OKW versus USF. However, we've got Nagano, who's the Russian heavyweight champion, who knows how to play from the underfoot, who knows how to win these big kind of confrontations in a competitive setting. Nagano versus J for Jet in this particular predicament is set for all-out combat and all-out warfare. You look at your top left and your top right of your screen, you look at the overall resources incoming, you see that it's only 5 minutes in, and you know you're in for a battle and a war.
Having a quick look right now at potential things that might be going on in this game. Now we did have the tier 1, we had the lieutenant tech, which I think people are probably thinking this is a little bit strange. Mechanized is the meta for OKW. Where is this going to leave you if you don't have airborne to drop the AT gun? Well, let's not forget, I mean, we have the same thing that, you know, in OKW, you get mechanized regiment, you go back down to battle grouper, get the command panther. The same does actually exist for heavy cavalry company in the fact that you can go for the lieutenant, you pump out the early squad with your fuel, you then use your fuel again and low manpower to get hold of the captain with the bazookas, and then you can get the AT gun, go into the Pershing later on in the game. It's a bit different. I don't see that kind of strategy played very often, and I don't know if that's what Nagano's going to go for, but at least he has that option to him with the lieutenant tech. It's not the end of the world. He can still tech up to captain. It will severely limit his ability to get major tech on the field, though.
With regards to these two factions on this particular map, it always comes down to the Lukes versus the counter to the Lukes. The Panzer II reconnaissance light tank can always go around those roads and make a nuisance of itself, regardless of whether it's the medium VP, sorry, the middle VP, the northern, or the southern. And here we go, we've got the captain coming onto the field that will offer the opportunity to counter it. Even though it's not here yet, we always know the Lukes is going to be a prominent fixture. And the overall game, in my opinion, develops into the Lukes and how you counter it.
We're losing a capture point.
I think he's in a good position. I don't know if he is going to go heavy cavalry company, but I think actually that is the likely option here for him to just keep. He's going to have a sizable infantry advantage now. I think it's a good play from the guy, and I think he's made a sensible decision. MG is becoming really useful with the way he's using it to hold this side of the map. Although he is going to be forced out by an incendiary grenade from the Volksgrenadiers here. Nice pop-in through the top window.
Useful graphics.
Yeah,
great expenditure there, Dan. MG34 is pushed away, as are the riflemen. The the 50 cal is trying to reposition. There it goes. Has it caught the Volksgrenadiers in its scope? As it has. The Stern Pioneers, they are stuck without a paddle down the creek there, and the 50 cal has reigned supreme. The riflemen will be able to get me inside the garrison. No, the Volksgrenadiers beat them to it. This is a battle to the death. If that 50 cal repositions, that will mean Nagano has dominance over the centre, the ever important centre.
He's done well. I think he's actually starting to dominate all the areas now. Low health Kubal's going to get picked off by just about anything. Centre is not looking good. On the right side, we have the captain against the Jaeger Light Infantry, and Jaeger Light Infantry should in effect win this. The captain can close the distance with cover of the hedgerow. Should be an okay fight. We're hoping. Oh, actually, no, we've already got the M1AT gun building. I was just going to say, I really hope that comes in the build. I'm glad it's building now, because that's been the big fault in pretty much all the USF games.
2.5 years of casting Nagano. Have you ever seen him take a strategical misstep in terms of build order?
I think we did the last game. If I'm honest.
Okay, except for the last game. Over the previous 2 years, this guy seems to be a bit of a strategical mastermind. He always seems to try and make the best strategical step he can. With a great kind of foray there from the rifleman Vet 2, with a vehicle kill to their accolades now. However, in the meantime, the Lukes is reigning supreme in the mid. It's causing a nuisance for itself. However, here come the riflemen, Vet 2, with the anti-tank rifle grenade at their disposal. Will the Volksgrenadier be able to keep them at bay?
No.
Yes, it seems like they are. The MG34 does the job instead. And down top left, top right of our screens, easy comparison. Both players have really good parity right now. We're only 10 minutes in, and it seems that this game, unlike the others so far we've passed this mini tournament, we've seen some decent games. We haven't, however, seen a great game. And I ask you now, Dan, every follicle of your being, does this spell great game to you so far?
It does until Nagano picks a command. I mean, like, right now, I think it's the same situation as before. J4Jet hasn't changed his strategy. He's already revealed Jaeger Light Infantry. You know, let's not see that same mistake again. And I don't think we will, because we've got Lieutenant and Captain Tech on the field right now. I don't think we're going to see that. But the mistake of the last game, I think, was that we had this huge mechanized loadout. We don't have that this time. We don't have the Puma out in the field because the Stuart hasn't come out yet. It's late. So we're probably not going to see the same style of scavenge doctrine play. But at the same point, you know, like, now we have the added element of the fact he's got the M1AT gun, so there wouldn't be any point in that anyway. It's a different mechanic. It's the same commanders, and I hope we get to see Heavy Cavalry Company now, because I actually think that's going to be one of the perfect things to add to this huge infantry complexion he's got.
I mean, let's count it. So far, USF is down 4-0 to OKW in this mini tournament today in Factional Showdown Episode 2. I mean, some people out there must be hoping Nagano at least gets one win at USF in this Game 3 decider, because if he doesn't, is auto match forsaken? I mean, we've all seen full balance patch delayed. Is auto match now a thing of the past? Do you play as Soviets or OKW at all times, unless being stylish? I mean, it seems possible that could be the way. Some of you in this 300 strong viewership must be somewhat hoping for a Nagano victory.
That was a really nice pop there. He saved up the resources, pulled out the Jaeger Light Infantry just outside the arc of the MG, the 50 cal MG, and he's just managed to steal USF AT gun. And that is, we were talking about this earlier, the worst AT gun that USF can have used against them is their own AT gun. Because of the range, because of, you know, it doesn't require as much penetration to hit a USF tank, so it is very, very bad to lose that AT gun there. Now we've got the Ostwind on the field as well. This is going to force Nagano into playing another AT. I think he has to get that out right now, otherwise I don't see what he's going to be able to do against Ostwind and Luke's.
It's going to be difficult, I tell you what, it's going to be really difficult. Against a J4Jet playing at his real supremacy here. He's number 4 in the world. Oberkommando vest, and he's doing damn well. Here comes the Ostwind. Only 45 of these flak panzers ever built, and it's punishing this lieutenant on retreat. This barred-up lieutenant crushing the tree. Negative cover. Here we go. Will he get the final kill? No, he will not, and that is a pretty much possibly it. You know, it's keeping Nagano in the battle for every squad wipe he doesn't get. Say as he's just about to kill the lieutenant. It gives Nagano the chance to get back into this, and we're all praying for possibly that USF win, as we are now 4-0 down as OKW. This could be 5-0 to OKW in this mini tournament if J4Jet were to get the win.
It's really tough. Nagano has you know, the VPs have still been pretty close this game. So you kind of wonder, you know, there is enough time to save this. There's enough time to rescue this, but you need to have the AT gun at the back lines on attack move. You push up with the infantry and let it do its work, and then hopefully get some of the territory back. We don't have this pick yet. Nagano still hasn't constricted himself to a commander, which makes me think he's waiting for the fuel. And then he's going to flick Heavy Cavalry Company and go in with this. I still think that's a good idea. I still think he can do it. But I guess the big problem is that he hasn't been withholding vision.
No.
He hasn't had the vision in advance to get that AT gun working the way it should be.
He hasn't, no. To be honest, he's dealt with multiple foes right now. Does he try and... Oh, here we go. Grenade goes in against the MG34. Doesn't do the damage he required. MG34, however, does have to retreat. Here he gets the central garrison. I was about to speak about the fact that he's got this MG34 to cope with, as well as having the Lukes and the Ostwind. This J4Jet... Nice from the infantry grenade. This J4Jet build does seem to be ultra powerful right now. Nagano needs to offer big opportunities to make his play last until that 20-minute mark. Because all the previous OKW games we've seen so far, Dan, have been dominant. We've not seen USF really put up a big of a stand.
I'm still going to argue against that. I still think like first game with the Calliope play, I still think that was a very dominant.
Did we ever even see the Calliope?
We did, but I mean,
what did it do? Was it one
it was very unfortunate.
As he died?
He decided to get the Calliope when the Command Panther was out. That was very unfortunate.
Yeah,
it was very,
and
very
to be
tough
honest,
game actually.
You say Calliope play, I think you meant tactical support company in general. The M119.
No, I thought tactical support was good. He teched up to the Sherman. He teched up to the Sherman, and he didn't get the Calliope out as a first unit, and then it just allowed Nagano to stack. So
yeah,
I mean, I think I am in general agreement with everybody that OKW is way more flexible than USF. If you make a mistake with USF, you know, powerful for that reason.
Yeah, the focus currently is just offers, in my opinion, better flexibility in the early game. The Faust just deal with what USF needs to provide. And then we're seeing the Lukes into Ostwind, and it's really good. If the USF does not get on a DevM style rolling steamroller spree, I really start to struggle to see what USF can do to deal with the OKW. However, Dan, at this point in juncture, I will say the USF player in this case is Nagano. Nagano, Dan, can I swear on your stream?
We're losing a capture point.
Has been described as XCOM Reborn, Co-1 player, has been described as a autistic fuck because he beats XCOM 10 times in a row. Nagano is the kind of player that makes you quit playing Company of Heroes. Nagano is a beast. I F you not. Nagano's a legend. So despite what you've seen in these previous 4 games, despite what you see on the battlefield, notice one thing. It's 471 victory points to 408. One of the greatest Company Heroes players of all time. Last game of this mini tournament. If anybody can make it happen, it's Ruka CL Nagano. Whoa, dodges for days against those infiltration grenades. What we've got built from that mechanized company, we've got the Puma in the build. What happened to that Luke stand? How did that go down?
I wasn't watching. I was replying to someone in chat.
Nice casting from the ever-professional Daniel. Sorry, Dan. I missed it too.
I stopped caring. Sorry. Well, I don't know how it went down actually. We've got Puma coming in now, same as before, just a mechanized heavy with the Ostwind. Going to be good to see how he goes for it. I don't think we've got Major in, but he has locked in pretty much as predicted with Heavy Cavalry Company. Standard if you're going to go Lieutenant and Captain. And the Pershing is going to be very, very good against this combination. The Captain is not going to be able to penetrate too many times. Double echelons are on the field, so repair times could be quick. And everything's upgraded with bars. So I think Nagano, as long as he plays it right, then I think he's got a very, very good chance to push this forward. And with the MG, I think, like, you know, if you're going to suppress with the MG and then push him with the bars, it's very, very good. Remove the Ostwind's ability to start, you know, putting those big shots in on your infantry. But the fact they echelons up bazookas, you know, by the fact that the AT guns in support, then I think actually
Stern Pioneers
looking good.
Possible wipe against the rear echelons. No, indeed. We've got J for Jet in. He's got a good infantry position. As we say, he has lost that Luke's Panzer II tank. And everything's to play for right now. We've got Nagano having destroyed the reconnaissance light tank. He's in a good position. He's got the victory point advantage as we now see J for Jet dropping to 400 and below. And what's this we see on the field?
We see a Pershing.
That's right, the M26 as the Ostwind gets taken down. Long range kill there. Good work from Nagano. And we've got the squad wiping machine. That's right, the M26 Pershing with the great area of effect. Shots going in against a Stern Pioneer.
Yeah, that unit is going to start to change the course of the game right now. Puma's not going to be particularly effective. M1AT guns counter mobile or something regiment, and Pershing is just going to be able to deal with a lot of the infantry on the field. And again, we spoke about this. We spoke about this doctrine choice. Again, I think it should have been predicted. I think if you're going to see Lieutenant and Captain, you know your opponent's got Heavy Cavalry Company. Predict it. And J4Jet hasn't done that. Nagano may have just found himself a way to get back in this.
He has indeed. Nagano has got a way back in this. As many Auto Match players have observed, the M26 Pershing is a great comeback mechanic. It's a squad wiping machine. It has a great look at the graphs there. You can pretty much see the time the Pershing came onto your screen and onto the battlefield. The graphs met in position, and that has restored parity. That has meant our competitors today in this best of 3 final now are poised both for victory. We have a Pershing on the field. We have parity. However, how is J4Jet going to combat that American heavy tank?
Well, he's going to have to take up to tier 4. At least I think he is. I don't think he's going to go for battle group. I'd be surprised if that is a choice. Maybe he's going to try and last out with what he's got right now. Raketen and Puma trying to push away the Pershing and then allowing the infantry to just keep engaging USF infantry from the front. He does have the M1AT gun, so it's not a Raketen. I keep mistaking it for that. It was the stolen M1AT gun from earlier, which will probably be pretty good at helping deal with the Pershing. But I think now he may want to consider putting tier 4 down. And he's not going to go for battle grouper.
What?
Yeah.
Well, he's got so many squads coming back ill-healthed, I guess, but the Pershing doesn't care about health. The Pershing just cares about wiping the squads regardless of health levels. The Pershing is an annihilator. And Dan, the Pershing absolutely demands a counter. And you have to look at J4Jet's OKW composition right now and ask him, where's the counter going to come from?
Task complete.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's okay, you touched my leg there, Dan.
I didn't mean to do that.
No, you
I
touched
thought I was
my
on
leg.
the chair with
You
handles.
want the intercourse now or later? Anyway, you have to ask J4Jet where the counter comes from. The Pershing is on the field. You suddenly find yourself against one of the greatest company heroes players of all time. You're J4Jet. You've been doing really well so far. However, now you're going against an M26 Pershing. Where do you go from here? Answers in the chat, please, because I genuinely, other than a Jagd Panzer IV, don't know where to go.
I think he would have been okay holding out going tier 4 for a Panther. I think he's made that mistake now.
Look at this manpower attrition, he's suffering. This Pershing is going to be a beast. It's going to obliterate, it's going to annihilate his squads. Every shot pretty much stands to kill 3 models on each squad, which is at least 20 manpower per model, so 60 manpower per shot from that Pershing. Dan, over time, that's going to launch Nagano into the ascendancy. And look at that fat foot Pershing there. Look at it, crushing those poor cardboard boxes. It's going to have a field day on Faymanville Approach today.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of said from the start, you know what I mean? If you're going to see the mechanized thing again with Scavenge, the heavy cavalry company, it's just like the go-to choice. And once this is out on the field and your opponent hasn't gone for any tech above this, it's too good. I mean, it's dominant. It's very, very dominant. But this is where I think, you know, we didn't see this in previous games. We saw actually bad commander counter picking. This is an example of good commander picking it, and it's working very well for him.
And vetoing, you know. I mean, Nagano has been able to get away with choosing this incredible Dutchan heavy cavalry and vetoing the Panther command tank. By the way, in this tournament, everybody was able to pick 2 commander vetoes against their opponents. It is OKW versus USF mini tournament, and somehow J4Jet has been able to lose to a cracking commander. He's not a vetoed heavy cav. And look at heavy cav in all its supremacy. Boom goes the cannon of the M26 Pershing. And then following up is the LMG of those riflemen. And the overall ascendancy of the combined arms of Nagano is reigning supreme here, Dan.
This has been a really good game just to showcase how commander picking changes games, because otherwise USF had lost.
Yes.
I don't know what really he would have done if he didn't have heavy cavalry in That is one of the game mechanics, the way it works with commander picks and call-ins, and that's kind of how you win.
It is. It really is.
And I think it's been very well demonstrated here by the fact he's taken the entire map back from pretty much being pushed into his base. It's a very, very good and
It's company importance at the end of the day.
yeah.
I mean, we've seen here just why having so many great calling tanks is such an advantage in Company of Heroes 2 competitive. I mean, J for Jet was in a really good position up until that Pershing came onto the field. And I am not denying Nagano is not the better player, because, to be honest, J for Jet's a great player. Nagano's proven over the past 3 years slightly better than J for Jet. In this position, however, we were due for a 50-minute game. Pershing has come onto the field and has reigned victorious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say about it. Like, I just think that was the right thing to do. I mean, at the end of the day, the game is built the way the game is built. Like, you have to play it the way you can't complain about it. You're not gonna go, oh, I'm not going to build this. Like, you play to the game's strengths, and Nagano played the best possible thing he could have done there in the situation. Pershing wouldn't have worked against a number of things. It wouldn't have worked against Command Panther in some situations. You know, like, it's situational, and he's done a very good job.
He really has. J for Jet is a warrior. He's done very well in this second episode of the Factional Showdown. And but Nagano has just played a little bit better. And you see now in the tactical map, the map a sea of blue. Nagano's on the wall.
Yes, yeah, Pershing getting repaired there on the field. Jaeger Light Infantry getting pushed off of the western munitions point, and that is just going to leave AT, Puma and the M1 through the center, trying to just find the Pershing and keep harassing it, whilst Jet finds the best way to progress forward. We've got good defense, MG in the building, covered by riflemen, sitting within the VP green cover. There is very, very little that Jet is going to be able to do to push past this, and the Pershing is just happy to bounce in and out of these engagements. Finds a weak point.
Pershing. The Puma's trying to back away. The Falconers, however, keep him at bay, and the Pershing has to retreat. The stolen M1 is not in position. Yes, he is. Here comes, however, some. What's that time? We've got smoke artillery drops.
Yeah, I think it's a sensible choice, actually, making use of a lot of the munitions stacked in this commander. Smoke is popped to allow the Pershing to get out. That's a nice use of the armor-piercing rounds there for the USF AT. It gets another penetrating shot on long range. This is exactly the kind of counter that's needed to try and take that Pershing down. Nagano's going to try and seal the deal by going for a Sherman, so he has teched Major now to try and get something else in to just close the game. And Sherman's a very, very good choice. Very good choice here.
It is. And I suppose overall it's going to close the game out for Nagano, because he's not up against Command Panther, and that's the all-important thing to remember here. He knows his opponent's commander, and the Sherman in this case, can now push around the peripheries of the map and really push the initiative for Nagano. Osvind in your scope right now, trying to make a go of it for J for Jet, trying to claim back one at least of the victory points, of which are right now all important, as he drops to 113 remaining.
Ostrand maybe overstepping the mark a little bit, allowing the Pershing to come in. Pershing is veterancy 2 now. I'm not sure if it's 3 where it gets its speed increase. No, it is. 1 is actually the acceleration. So as soon as that Pershing acquires a target, it's going to be able to accelerate up to max speed a little bit quicker, making it quite fearsome on the field. And I've got to say, veterancy for the Pershing is incredible. It is a really, really good tank in terms of its veterancy upgrades. And you can see it here right now, trying to chase down this Ostwind. Got a lot of green cover that it's crushing down. So
what a shot!
Maybe being slowed down a little bit, but does manage to find the Ostwind. This is such an overextension. Where is Jet going with this? I feel he's going to have to go through the beast.
Establish a new Reich in the northwest of Fagneville approach, maybe in Normandy there. Just driving far away from his own forces as this Jaeger Light Infantry squad is getting demolished. Here we go, we've got the Sherman. What is this Ostwind doing? This Ostwind's saying, no, please, I want to be a Yankee. And he's capitulating.
There's a very small chance the Ostwind would make it out of there. But
He might have done. A little tiny speck of red. Oh my god, here comes the M26.
wait, is it?
Oh, he just found that. What's the turret doing?
I don't know. I think he's trying to.
Keep an eye on that, Sunshine.
I think he's playing.
Ostwind's going back in. Pershing's reversing back after the Ostwind. This is very much Harry Hill. Exactly. As the Pershing now facing the wrong way, finds the Ostwind. Dan's cringing. Pershing in pursuit. Ostwind's trying to now make it back right now, the northwestern side of the map. What's happening with that Ostwind there, Dan?
The Ostwind is somewhere over here.
Down to 25 points.
Keeping up my veil right now.
I can still see through this. Actually, so I may just cast like this for the rest of the thing. There we go.
Dan, I told you my phlegm was
Actually,
part of the contract.
10 points remain.
10 points remaining as Jake for Jet looks set to lose against Nagano in this Game 3 decider. Nagano is on the ascendancy. He's managed to survive. And there we go. We've got Nagano winning in